time is 1:15. Here's the news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. 50% of the population fully vaccinated. Another 4 million Sinopharm vaccine doses brought to the country. Views exchanged with international community on agriculture amid pandemic. Task force to eliminate poverty gets opinion of rural committees. Only $3.6 million received so far as compensation from Express Pearl ship incident. Navy seizes another large consignment of drugs from the fishing vessel. Foreign news, Amber list scrapped in overhaul of travel rules in England. Sports news, Sri Lanka placed at 205th place in World Football Rankings. Local news in detail. A total number of people who received both doses of the COVID vaccine has reached 10,968,195 yesterday. State Minister Professor Channajaya Sumana said 50% of the country's population now remains fully vaccinated against the virus. According to Epidemiology Unit, 8,973,670 Sinopharm second doses have been rolled out in Sri Lanka to date. In addition, 949,105 people were fully vaccinated with the AstraZeneca vaccine, while 758,282 received the Moderna COVID-19 shot. Meanwhile, both doses of the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine have been administered to 243,685 people and Russia's Sputnik V vaccine to 43,453. The task force to eliminate poverty is preparing to get views of the rural committees for livelihood development on a consent of Finance Minister. Accordingly, officers at the divisional secretariat levels will be informed, particularly officers of the Kandy, Kadawata Sathara and Gangawata Korali divisional secretaries have been briefed recently about the matter. Today is International Coastal Cleanup Day. A special program in this regard took place on Nigambu, Sarakokanda coastal belt this morning. Special programs will be implemented from today for 1 week under the theme of protecting ocean resources. Meanwhile, Chairperson of Marine Environment Protection Authority, Dashni Lahandapura said, measures to get compensation for the damage caused by the Express Pearl ship are continuing. She said $3.6 million out of $40 million have been received so far as compensation. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news, Sri Lanka Navy has seized another foreign fishing vessel carrying a large consignment of heroin with 9 foreign suspects in international waters. Navy said the operation was carried out after days of continuous surveillance in the high seas south of Sri Lanka. The operation was carried out based on information provided by Sri Lanka Police. The international community has been briefed on the steps that have been taken to uplift local agriculture amid the pandemic. Minister Bandulu Gunawardene explained the measures that have been taken while addressing the G33 International Conference. Trade ministers, agriculture ministers, importers and exporters of 56 countries attended the conference online. A leading Johns Hopkins cancer researcher, Dr. Ashani Weeraratne, who is of Sri Lankan origin, has been appointed by US President Joe Biden to serve as a member of the National Cancer Advisory Board. Dr. Weeraratne specializes in melanoma and the effects of the aging on cancer. According to Johns Hopkins University statement, Dr. Weeraratne's research focuses on the effects of the tumor on normal cells, structures surrounding a tumor, and therapy resistance. She is one of the first researchers to study the aging microenvironment and therapy resistance in melanoma. Her studies encompasses biophysical changes that affects the ability of both tumor and immune cells to migrate through tissues. Her research has found age-related differences in responses to both targeted therapy and immunotherapy. That ends local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidamahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidamahatmya.
Sri Lanka received another shipment of COVID-19 vaccines containing 4 million Sinopharm doses today. Accordingly, the total number of China-made vaccines arrived in Sri Lanka has reached 26 million. Earlier this month, China delivered another batch of 4 million Sinopharm vaccines doses to the island nation. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight.
Sri Lanka Tourism is gearing up to unveil the second edition of Coach Safari by live streaming the Vilpattu National Park to the global audience. A virtual tour of the Vilpattu National Park is scheduled for 24 and 26 September to promote the wildlife of the island while offering a glimpse of the experience the destination has to offer once fully open for tourists. That ends Watchlight.
World News.
World News, the headlines first. Amber List scrapped in overall of travel rules in England. The US FDA recommends COVID-19 booster jabs for over 65s. Chess icon sues Netflix for Queen's Gambit portrayal. World News in detail. The international travel traffic light system is being simplified in England with a single red list as part of an overhaul of the rules from 4th of October. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps also said 8 countries would be taken off the red list from Wednesday. PCR tests will no longer be required for fully vaccinated travelers returning to England. Under the new testing regime, people who have had both jabs will not need to take a pre-departure test before leaving any country not on the red list. A panel advising the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has recommended boosters of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for people 65 and over and those at high risk. But it voted against recommending a shot for everyone aged 16 and over. The FDA's Scientific Advisory Committee voted 16-3 against the boosters for the age 16 and over. Many of the panel's independent experts said scientific data suggested a widespread rollout of vaccines was not warranted. Georgian chess icon Nona Gaprindashvili has filed a defamation lawsuit against Netflix, saying she was incorrectly portrayed in the hit series The Queen's Gambit. The case refers to the sequence in the drama's final episode, which says Gaprindashvili, now aged 80, had never played competitive chess with men. Document says that by 1968, the year in which the episode is set, she had faced at least 59 male players. Netflix said the claim had no merit. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Amber List scrapped in overall of travel rules in England. The US FDA recommends COVID-19 booster jabs for over 65s. Chess icon says Netflix for Queen's Gambit portrayal. That ends world news. Moving on to development news. South Asia Gateway Terminals promoted to commitment to driving sustainable business practices in the recent roads surfacing project carried out at the terminal. The road surfacing project involved the usage of plastic modified asphalt concrete, an innovative solution that concretes and converts Sri Lanka's single-use plastic waste into an individual raw material for road construction. The asphalt mixture incorporates plastic waste as the substitute to the percentage of bitumen fossil fuel, which allows for reduced greenhouse gases. That ends development news. Sports news. SAF Football Championship will commence in few more days. Sri Lanka will play against Bangladesh on the 1st of next month. Sri Lanka play against Nepal on the 4th. The match between Sri Lanka and India will be played on the 7th. Sri Lanka will play against Maldives on the 10th of next month. Sri Lanka is on 205th place according to the World Football Rankings. Sri Lanka's Yupun Abekon is ranked 40th in the men's 100-meter world rankings. He is the only South Asian among the first 50. There are only 7 Asian athletes among the first 50 in the rankings. 4 cricketers and 2 consultants are taking part in the Nairobi League Championship, which commences today. Gihan Rubasinghe, Udara Jayasundara, Vikum Sanja and Lahiru are playing in the championship. Chamara Kapukidara and Ajanta Mendes are working as consultants. That ends the sports news.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
S&T Interiors, a joint venture of the Hales Group and S&T Oman, announced the commencement of the 1.94 billion rupee 253 guest room refurbishment project for the Hilton Colombo. The 15-month project is expected to be completed in 4 phases with minimal disruption to hotel operations and will be the first major guest room interior refurbishment since 1984. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's industrial production recovered during July, broadly reflecting the sensitivity of the country's industrial activities to the travel and other restrictions. According to the index of the industrial production, the country's manufacturing sector recorded 109.7 index points in July 2021 from 97.2 index points in June, when the country was under lockdown for 3 weeks in that month. That ends economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
The Met Department shows showers will occur in Sabragamur and western provinces and in Gaul and Madra districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere in the afternoon. Heavy showers above 100 mm can be expected at some places in Uber, eastern, northern and north-central provinces. Showers or thunder showers may occur at several places in northern province. That ends weather report. To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. 50% of the population fully vaccinated. Another 4 million Sinopharm vaccine doses brought to the country. Views exchanged with the international community on agriculture amid pandemic. Task force to eliminate poverty gets opinion of rural committees. Only $3.6 million received so far as compensation from Express Pearl ship incident. Navy says another large consignment of drugs from a fishing vessel. Foreign news, Amber List has scrapped in overall of travel rules in England. Sports news, Sri Lanka placed at 205th place in World Football Rankings. That ends the afternoon news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka.